What's up, beauties? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tia Simone, and over on this channel we have a lot of fun. We do makeup, commentary, and I hope you stick around. So hello to my GLAM fam. I love y'all tremendously. Thank you so much for being here. So as you can see from the title, I'm gonna make this into a series because I think it's obviously a very controversial topic. It is a topic that is going on right now. It's a topic that I debate about often on my TikTok. If you like watching debates, you are more than welcome to go to my TikTok, which is Tia Simone, just like my YouTube name. And I debate about these things because I do feel that they're very important. And the reason why I want to talk about the term cis and transgender women is because I have been an ally with the LGBTQIA+ for a very long time. I was an ally before there was even any other letters except for LGBT, okay? And it's mostly because my mother was. My mother wasn't just about the talk, she walked the walk, and a lot of different issues in the world, including the things that Black people endure. My mom was out in communities, helping communities. My mother was the epitome of all about that action, okay? So I just grew up being accepting of people who may have been different than me, okay? And no matter what people think around the world, and everybody definitely has their own opinions, transgender women are women. No matter which way that you want to look at it, you can definitely try to get your way around it if you want to, if that makes you sleep better at night. But at the end of the day, that's the inevitable conclusion of this entire debate when it comes to transgender women versus cisgender women, okay? And I have definitely, even being an ally for as long as I have been, 15+ years, I can promise you this, I definitely have and always will be that person that struggles with internalized transphobia, homophobia. Just like if you are a non-person of color, you will always be that person that will struggle and have to endure, accept, and deconstruct your anti-Blackness, deconstruct your inherent racism, okay? And I myself am very accepting of that, and I deconstruct and work on those things every single day. Because believe it or not, being an ally and being a person who advocates and speaks up for the LGBTQIA+ community as a whole, specifically transgender men and women, you definitely learn something new every single day. One of the biggest things that I think people need to understand, and I think obviously people who are older than myself, people who are more elderly and grew up in different times, a lot of people do not like the idea of change. A lot of people don't. But at the end of the day, what needs to be understood is the world evolves and changes whether you want to get with it or whether you don't. And if you don't want to get with it, then you're more than welcome to stay secluded in your little box and not immerse yourself in new things, and stay secluded in your house if that's what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you can't stop the world from changing. There are new things that scientists are finding out every single day that confirms that transgender women are women, whether you like it or not. Now, no matter what anybody says to me, and I've had so many people say some of the most horrible things to me from being an ally. I've had people say some of the most rudest, meanest things. I've had people say certain things that they think that is going to offend me, that doesn't offend me. And that's still never going to change my mind or stop me from being who I am and standing up for what is right. And what I stand up for the most, what I stand up for the most, and what my mother raised me to stand up for, is human rights. Because everybody has a right to go to the restroom, okay? A public restroom. Everybody has a right to medical care. Everybody has a right to those things. And when those rights are being taken away, it becomes a huge issue. And it's a huge issue that people choose to ignore because of their ignorance. Okay, so let's talk about the prefix, okay? Now, it's so sad that a prefix is causing such a divide, a huge divide between women, okay? But a prefix, the term cis, was coined in 1994 by a woman named Dana DeFosse, okay? Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. If I get it wrong, I will put it up here just to make sure. But Dana DeFosse is, I'm pretty sure she may be like an ally for the LGBTQIA plus community as a whole. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. But Dana DeFosse is literally just a cisgender woman, okay? And she started the term cis because she thought that it would be more inclusive when it comes to transgender men and women as a whole. And she did not think that it was going to cause as much of an uproar as it has, because the prefix cis just means on the same side of. That's all it means, okay? If you are not cis, you are transgender. It doesn't take away from who you are as a woman in any way, shape, or form. But I will say this, when I first heard the prefix cis, I didn't like it either. Believe it or not, I didn't. When I first heard, to be honest with you, when I first heard cis, it was actually on a live stream that I was doing. And somebody that I am no longer, or probably never, I was never friends with her. But she was on my panel and she had called a woman cis. And I'm like, what is that? You know, and I had never heard it again after that. But then the more I went on YouTube, I started hearing the prefix cis a lot. And it was actually one of the first live streams that I did on YouTube where I'm like, I don't like this cis thing. They ended up calling me transphobic because I didn't like the term cis. And it was the first time ever, especially being an ally for the LGBTQIA plus community, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody call me transphobic, okay? And I'm far from it. But when I heard that term, I heard it on someone else's live, and I expressed my concern about the prefix, and then I actually went live on my own TikTok and was like, I was called transphobic, I don't like this, this is wrong, I don't think that this prefix is right, and I'm just kind of ranting. And people that were watching me were amping me up. We're saying, don't let them do this to you. You're not transphobic because of that. They're trying to take away from your womanhood. And once I was done with that live, I stayed off of TikTok for probably about a month. I needed to step away because I've had to figure out, it was bothering me. So I had to figure out, why is it that I don't like this word? Is it a good reason why I don't like this word? The pros and cons of this prefix. I keep saying word, but it's prefix. The pros and cons of this prefix. I do have family who is transgender, so I had talked to her, and I finally figured out what about this prefix that bothered me. And once I figured out what bothered me about this prefix, it definitely was rooted from transphobia, and I'll tell you why. Because I didn't want to be associated as a woman with a transgender woman. Because at the end of the day, I am a woman, okay? I was born female. I have 3 beautiful boys that I birthed, and it wasn't easy at all being pregnant and the things that I endured. So I didn't want to be, I don't know if it's necessarily the right word to say associated. I didn't want to be involved when it comes to, or even coincided when it comes to transgender women. And that is rooted in transphobia. Because at the end of the day, we're all women. We're just different kinds of women. If you think about the definition of the word woman, we all know what the definition of the word woman is. However, there are different definitions of the word woman. But if you actually, because definitions change, they evolve, and everybody is entitled to have their own definition of what they feel a woman is. What I feel a woman is not necessarily the same as what my aunt may define a woman as, or my niece may define a woman as, or a friend might define a woman as. Every woman has their own unique experience and journey in life, and every woman has their own definition of what they feel a woman truly is. So I had to deconstruct that transphobia, because at the end of the day, cis is literally just a description. It is a description describing you. As a matter of fact, it's kind of weird to me that most cisgender women do not like the term, or do not like being called cisgender women, because it's all it is a description, meaning on the same side of, meaning that you were born female. Okay, basically, I mean, there's definitely, people have their own terms or definitions of what they even think the prefix is, but it's just you identifying with who you were born as. That's all it is. And if you're not cis, then that means you don't identify. It means different side of. So that's what I don't understand about why so many women do not want to be called cis, because it's literally just describing a noun, a woman. It's literally describing who you are as a woman. But no matter what, everybody is always asking, what is the definition of a woman? Let's look up the definition of a woman, okay? Every woman has their own definition of what they feel a woman is. I could sit here and tell you my journey as a woman and what I think a woman is, and you would probably say, are you crazy? That's not what makes you a woman, okay? And there's other women that think that giving birth to a child is what defines a woman. There are women who think that working is what defines a woman. There are women who think that getting degrees is what defines a woman. There are so many women who literally have their own terms of what makes them a woman. We all have different struggles as women, okay? And they're always going to be so much different from the next. No woman has the same struggles in life, okay? Even if you were to compare two women that gets their menstrual cycles, okay? Well, the way I get a menstrual cycle could be completely different from the way another woman gets a menstrual cycle. And it's very true. I get very problematic menstrual cycles. Like, I can't wait until I'll be done with them completely, because I don't have very good menstrual cycles. Where another woman that I talk to, she has no problems with her period. Sometimes she misses her period for months and months and it doesn't bother her. Every woman is different, and that is what makes women so beautiful, because women have their own unique experiences in life. Okay, so that is why that term, the prefix cis, does not bother me, because it's literally just a description. And to be honest with you, the only time you would ever be referred to as cis, or anytime you would ever introduce yourself as a cisgender woman, is if you are in LGBTQIA plus spaces. If you don't like the prefix cis, then stay out of LGBTQIA plus spaces. And you know what's crazy? Every single word that has came out, like the word heterosexual, people had a problem with heterosexual too. People had a problem with straight. Oh, I'm not straight, I'm just normal. Any word that comes out, it always becomes problematic, because people do not like change. People refuse to evolve. People refuse to grow. Okay? At the end of the day, this is about inclusivity. And I, as a black woman, as a black indigenous woman, knows how important inclusivity is. Because I cannot tell you how much easier, and I wouldn't even say easier, because a lot of brands got a lot of fucking work to do, okay? But as a makeup artist, I cannot tell you how happy I was when Fenty finally came on the scene. Because every single shade, okay, Rihanna hit it out of the freaking park and made other brands have to catch up with her on her launch. Okay? When she first came out with so many shades that we as black women didn't even know that these shades existed for higher end brands, especially because they were never made for us. That's what inclusivity means. Inclusivity is called including everyone, making everyone feel included. And for some reason, people show their transphobia because they don't want transgender men and women to feel included. But let's very, very, very much be motherfucking real here, okay? We don't talk about transgender men as much as we talk about transgender women. Why is that? Just think about it for a second. Why is it that everybody is on the neck of transgender women? Because it shows the misogyny that this world truly is. How misogynistic this world truly is. Okay? People can make up whatever kind of excuses you want to. Oh, men, they don't shout and they're not causing so much noise and so much drama like women, like transgender women are. Bullshit. Okay? Transgender women deserve the same rights as everyone else. And they have a right to open up their mouths and be vocal about what it is that they deserve. It's getting so bad to where cisgender women are being unalived. And I say unalived because I don't know what I can and can't say on YouTube anymore. They're so damn sensitive. But there have been several cisgender women who were unalived by transphobic pieces of shit just because they may have looked transgender. You don't have to agree with that person's lifestyle, but you can respect that person and respect them as a human being. It's not hard. And a lot of people do have a problem with the fact that people are comparing what transgender men and women are going through and having it comparable to what black people have been enduring throughout history, even now. I will say, I'm not going to say that transgender men and women are going through exactly what black people are going through and have been through when it comes to slavery for 400 fucking plus years and all of those things, and still going through the same things. It's just a different time. But I will say that the same ideologies that were inflicted and still inflicted upon black people to demonize us is the same thing that transgender men and women are going through as we speak. They are being treated less than human, and that is how black people have been treated for decades in this country, right? So the next time you express your hate for a transgender man or woman, simply because you just don't understand, we tend to fear the things that we don't understand. But at the end of the day, you don't have to understand shit if you don't want to. Just respect the fact that they are human beings just like yourself. How hard is that? And don't throw all of this Christian stuff at me. That's not going to work either, because God does not want people to judge. And God would not be okay with spewing hate towards another human being. You're never going to convince me otherwise. And I'm religious myself. This whole fight with cisgender women against transgender women, the problem is that we as women should all be standing together and fighting together. Because when women as a whole were fighting for our rights, who do you think was on the front line with us? Transgender women. They were on the front line, standing right next to us, or sometimes in front of us. In my next video, we will get more talking about the biological aspect, the facts that prove that transgender women are women, okay? But that is not the case. Trust and believe. I can understand some of the concerns that people have about sports. I can understand that. okay? And we will talk about that in the next video. But what I will say is that that's not what transgender women are trying to do. They are literally just trying to live their life and has the same rights as everyone else. That's it. That's it. And ultimately, no matter what anybody says to me or probably any other ally who is a true ally to the LGBTQIA plus community, no matter what you say to me, you know, and because it's not like I've never been here before, Black women are stigmatized as a whole. We have, not myself, but people have accused Beyonce of being a transgender woman. People have accused Megan Thee Stallion of being a transgender woman. Nicki Minaj. All of these celebrity women, beautiful women as a whole, have been accused of being transgender. Why do you think that is? Why? Black transgender women are even more stigmatized. Black transgender women literally have a high statistic rate of not living past the age of 35. It's bad. It's bad. And all y'all can sit there and bitch about is a prefix. This is the last thing that I'm going to say. Okay? When it comes to cisgender women versus transgender women, one of the biggest problems is, and the biggest complaint that I have heard is, they are trying to take my womanhood away from me. They are trying to take over women's spaces. Well, transgender women are women. They're just a different type of woman than you are, right? So they deserve to use the women's restroom just like everyone else, right? So to sit there and say that they are trying to take your womanhood, I am a grown-ass woman. I have 3 amazing, beautiful, handsome boys, highly intelligent boys. I'm very, very proud of who I am as a person, as a mother, as a soon-to-be wife. I'm very, very blessed. Nobody can take your womanhood away from you unless you let them. Nobody can define who you are as a woman unless you let them. How is it that you are going to sit here and say and complain about another woman taking away your womanhood from you? Nobody can take your womanhood away from you. If you look in that mirror every day and you are proud of what you see, let that person over there do whatever it is they need to do to define them as a woman, and you do what you need to do. Nobody can take anything away from you unless you let them. So complaining about another person taking away your womanhood doesn't do anything but show your insecurity as a person. And it seems as though you need to do some soul searching and take a long look in the mirror and maybe consider some therapy as to why you're so insecure about somebody else taking your womanhood away from you. The truth hurts. Everybody needs therapy, in my opinion. It doesn't work out for everybody, but everybody can benefit off of therapy. Listen, I'm not a perfect woman by any means, okay? But I'm a phenomenal woman. Okay? Yep, that's me. And I am never, ever going to sit here and worry about another woman taking away my womanhood from me. Period. It's not going to happen. But definitely do some soul searching if another person can take your womanhood away from you. Okay? That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to get this video out as soon as I can. I can tell you right now that if I see any transphobic, homophobic comments, you will be blocked and your comment will be deleted. I don't give a fuck. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I'm sorry for you. You can hit the unsubscribe button. I am a person who is always going to stand up for what I believe in and stand up for my convictions. And you don't necessarily have to agree with me, but we can agree to disagree. I hope everyone, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you want to. I love y'all tremendously. Thank you for listening. And we will continue this series and I'll make another video in the next couple days. Love y'all. Deuces.